Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite December 30th, 2020 review. Continuing on the tribute to Brodie Lee's passing. This was a magnificent tribute to this man's life and what he has done in his career, despite the fact that the career that he had wasn't as good as the life that he lived for the 41 years he was alive. He was a great father. Amazing things I discovered about this man. Reminded me a lot of Owen Hart. And he cared very much about family and being the absolute best person that you can be and making others around you positive and better as people. Personally, I kind of feel like we lost a good person in this world. Despite the fact that I didn't know Brodie Lee very well. He wasn't one of the, one of my biggest superstars I enjoyed watching. I never came on here and hyped him up so much until he came to AEW. When he came to AEW, I really started to like him and see that he was the star that he should have been in WWE. Unfortunately, like I have already mentioned, the man is gone because of health reasons, which absolutely sucks. And that's what this show is about. This wasn't about wrestling. This wasn't about storylines. This was about honoring a person who was a good person in life, not just in the ring. And I think what Tony Khan and the rest of the AEW promotion did for him, for his family, and everything else was amazing. It reminded me a lot of what WWE did for Owen Hart, being respectful to him despite the fact that they killed him, which still sucks in its own right. And Eddie Guerrero, definitely another tribute that WWE did great with. And I feel that AEW's done the same thing for Brodie Lee. Wrestling-wise, it was a good show. It wasn't bad. A lot of tag team wrestling. But with it being what it was, I mean, like, who really gives a shit about how many tag team wrestling matches and so on. We had Jon Moxley pay a tribute to Brodie Lee, and Jon Moxley said it best. Wrestling is not a business anymore. It's a community. It's everyone coming together as one, helping each other do better as performers, fans, and so forth. The wrestlers are there to help inspire other people to be better people in life, and the fans are there to help them, make them feel appreciated for what they do every single time they get in that ring and do what they do, despite the fact that the matches are fixed and it's not what you would call real, quote unquote, despite the fact that a lot of times they do get hurt. And that's what we are as a whole. We technically are a community. And these social media platforms are the reason for it. If it wasn't for these social media platforms, it wouldn't be as strong as it has remained. I think if we didn't have these platforms, I really think wrestling would be dead by now. Because wrestling has gone downhill, but with this, people have come together and really have wanted to see wrestling get better. And I hope Vince McMahon eventually wakes the fuck up and joins the rest of the, join the party here and actually want to have fun with what he does instead of turning it into a mockery. And it really sucks because they are the pinnacle of what wrestling is, and they're taking all of that and making wrestling go right in the garbage can, because they are the head honchos of wrestling, regardless of the fact that I say here every single week AEW is better than WWE. yes, as creative and wrestling wise goes, and wrestling wise, no, they're both very good. They have both really good talent, but creatively, AEW is far superior than WWE. But yeah, Vince McMahon needs to wake up and get back to what he used to do. Get these guys being the way they are, making them happy to be there. Get them to push themselves to thrive to be the absolute best that they can be. And do what guys like Owen Hart, Eddie Guerrero, Brodie Lee now that's passed, and wrestlers that are alive now that do the exact same thing that these guys do. He's the owner. He's the head honcho of WWE. And I'm sorry I'm going on WWE, but it's just... It makes me think to myself, a guy like Brodie Lee can be that caring to other people and bring other people up creatively, professionally, personally, and everything else in between. He wants to see everyone strive to be the best. Why wouldn't a guy like Vince McMahon want the same thing and he can still make money doing it? I don't get it. Really doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, Moxley is absolutely 100% correct. This is a community. This is not just a business. This is a thing it's like a drug for people that can get away from what is going on in their personal lives that might be, a downer, and get them to not have to think about that negative shit and be able to be happy for 2 to 3 hours, depending on how long the show is. And that is what wrestling should be used as a way to help people that are down and out and not as fortunate as, the owners of these companies are. And help them feel better. Bring their spirits up. Help them improve their lives. Give them encouragement to want to better themselves and push themselves to do more. And that's what I think wrestling should be used as. A way of making money, help produce, and encourage others to want to be the absolute best that they can be in life. And a way to escape from reality, because sometimes reality really sucks. But yeah, the first match that started the show was Colt Cabana and the tag team champions, the Young Bucks, versus Matt Hardy and Private Party. This was an excellent opener to the show. Fun little matchup that we had here. And Colt Cabana and AEW Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, win this match. Colt Cabana actually picks up the victory. Every member of the Dark Order won a match here tonight. Now, one match you'll see went without the Dark Order picking up a victory for their team. We then had a Darby Allin. He actually didn't have his face paint on during this tribute speech he gave. He mentioned how he was excited that Darby Allin was excited that Brodie Lee came to AEW from WWE, and he was in hopes that he could be able to have a match with him one day while they're both in the company. And unfortunately, that was never going to happen. He also said that the man was extremely nice to him and was always there for him. He was uplifting to every person that talked on this thing said the exact same thing about the man. The man was uplifting. He always wanted to help people do better and make them more motivated than they've ever been before. Eddie Kingston also came on there and did a private speech of his own too, like Darby Allin and Jon Moxley did. And Eddie Kingston, he was, this guy came on here and said, I didn't even have faith in myself. And when I came into AEW, he gave me that motivation, that drive, and he would push me really hard to do even more and made me go to lengths I never thought I could go and give myself some belief in myself that I never thought I had. And I thought that was beautiful. I think what the man did for other people, I think was great. I really did. And it's sad that, the man lost his life to health issues. And I'm sure it was family health related. I think it was genetic. I don't think he just died for bad health reason, living a life of bad choices and whatnot. I don't think he ever did drugs or anything like that. So if that was to come up to why he had lung problems, that was his choice, even though it was a bad one. All right, so moving on here. We had The Butcher and the Blade and Eddie Kingston versus the Dark Order with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. And Lance Archer with the Dark Order. This match was good as well. This was a fun 6-man tag team matchup. Again, like I mentioned before, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson were the winners with Lance Archer. They picked up the victory and got the 1-2-3. After the match, there was a brawl that took place. And then Jake Roberts, he even got involved. The old bastard, man, he fucking kicks some ass for an old dude that hasn't wrestled in fucking forever. He actually did a discus clothesline in tribute to Brodie Lee. I absolutely loved it. It was very good. Great stuff on this show. This was a heartwarming show. This really was. This was not trash. This wasn't insulting. It was really a professionally well done show towards Brodie Lee, and it really showed that they had a lot of heart for this guy. And I think what they did with the son was great. I think he did something later on which I thought was unbelievable, and I loved it to death. And I will discuss that in just a few moments because I believe it was the next match on the card. So let's get to that. Here it is. Inner Circle, MJF, Ortiz, and Santana versus the Dark Order with Alex Reynolds and John Silver and Adam Hangman Page. I gotta say, guys, after the passing of Brodie Lee, I think Hangman Page would be perfect for the Dark Order at this point. The only reason why I wasn't saying that Hangman Page shouldn't join the Dark Order is because he'd be behind Brodie Lee. Brodie Lee would have to be the face of that group and be a main eventer of that group. So Adam Page would have had to take a back seat. And no offense, this is not disrespect to Brodie Lee or anything, but with Brodie Lee gone, unfortunately, Hangman Page would fit in with the Dark Order in the sense that he's built some chemistry with Alex Reynolds and John Silver. They actually were, they worked together in other promotions before they came to AEW, and they're close friends. And they have a very good chemistry, and they've been building that on television as well. So you can see the development going on there between these three guys. Right now, at this point, I've heard that they're going to bring in a 6-man tag team championship belts. So if that was the case, I would definitely have these three guys as your 6-man tag team champions as the head guys, the first ones to ever win it. I think they're great together as a 6-man tag team. They gel very well. They give off great vibes, and they're very good in the ring together. Again, like I said, John Silver, I believe, was the one that picked up this victory here. Let me see here. Yeah, Silver with Brodie Lee's discus forearm for the win was the end of the match. During the match, there was two things that occurred that was fucking unbelievable. First thing that happened that I couldn't believe, and I don't know if he's signed to AEW yet. Maybe this is a one-off thing in respect for his best friend. Eric Rowan showed up at this event and kicked Wardlow's ass. I loved it. That was freaking great. I thought it was beautiful. And MJF throughout the match was taking shots at Brodie Lee's son, who's like not even, he doesn't look like he's no more than like 8 years old, maybe. Tops. And he's taking shots at his Brodie Lee's son, and he gives him the bird during the match too. And I'm like, what the fuck? I hope he gets his ass kicked. I hope this kid fucks him over out of the match. He does something even better, and he takes a kendo stick, because MJF, for the third time during this match, takes off the kid's Evil Uno Dark Order mask, and he spits on it, throws it on the ground, and the kid grabs a kendo stick and whops fucking MJF square in the fucking head. Now, it wasn't the most picture-perfect shot. It wasn't lethal or anything. It was done out of MJF wanting to do this. He wanted him to have the kid get even with him. And I thought that was great on MJF's part. That was very nice of him, despite the fact that he was coming across on television as an asshole. But he did the right thing. He allowed the kid to hit him in the fucking head with a kendo stick. I thought that was beautiful. By the end of the match, like I said, John Silver hit the discus clothesline and got the 1-2-3, and that was basically it. Eric Rowan came out with Hangman Page and John Silver and Alex Reynolds, and he said he had a sign he was holding that it was stating, "Goodbye for now, my brother. I will see you soon." And that's pretty much it. And he was crying his eyes out, as well as everyone else. One of the referees was very close to Brodie Lee, and multiple times during the show he was crying. So we had Brett Baker and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Tay Conte. This match wasn't all that interesting to me, but I'm not a big fan of women's wrestling in AEW yet. They need to develop this women's division. I'm not going to shit all over it just because of the fact that it is what it is. You know, it's a tribute to Brodie Lee. So the next thing here was Chris Jericho's tribute video towards Brodie Lee. And he talks about how they wrestled each other 27 times. He recalls wrestling him at Saudi Arabia, and talks about how smart Brodie was, where he noted that an arrow in the hotel room pointed to Mecca. He notes that he brought Lee to AEW, and he proved that he could be a main event level star. He said Lee came to his house one day, and his dog, who normally doesn't like strangers, greeted him warmly, proving how great of a person Lee was. He ends saying, "I love you, Brodie. We are going to miss you, and we promise to take care of your family." And I truly believe that, because WWE for a very long time did the same thing for Eddie Guerrero's wife. And I believe they will do the same thing for his family. You can definitely feel there is a lot of love for him and his family, and for the loss of their husband and father. So I definitely see AEW being class acts and giving them some kind of emotional support, or pretty much anything, I would assume, that they could do to help them out in this tragical time in their lives. So I definitely see that as something that AEW will do. So main event was Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and 10 from the Dark Order going up against Team Taz, which consisted Brian Cage, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks. This match ended with the Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and 10 winning the match, and getting the 1-2-3. And that was pretty much that. We had a small little brawl that occurred. Then Darby Allin and Sting showed up. They lined up next to Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and 10. And at that point, they went ahead and did a stare down with Team Taz. Team Taz is really looking kind of weak. I kind of would like to see them attack instead of just standing there grunting and groaning and acting all pissed off about the situation, and just go in there and kick some ass, or at least try to, even if they lose. We're not getting any of that from Team Taz right now, which is what I was expecting in the first place. So there was a little bit of storyline here that continued. But other than that, the rest of the show, like I said, was just basically multi-man tag team wrestling matches and just tribute to Brodie Lee. They had Brodie Lee's son and his wife show up to the ring in the last segment of the show. Cody was very emotional and very distraught about the situation of Brodie Lee's passing. He, as well, as said that he was one of the nicest guys he's ever met. Probably the nicest person you'll ever meet in this life. And Tony Khan actually appeared first time ever on television, and he stated that he is very sorry for the loss of their Brodie Lee. They gave a tribute video of him as well to close out the show, which was very nice. They even had WWE images of Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan when they were tag team champions. They had Big E in one of the pictures, and quite a few other WWE superstars that was on AEW. I don't know if they're going to get sued for that, for copyright, but who gives a shit, because it was a very nice tribute, and it was a lot of class for what they did for Brodie. And they gave a TNT championship to Brodie's son. I thought he was going to be on the microphone and actually give a little bit of a speech on how he felt about his dad and kind of give people a little bit of emotional pull towards that, but they didn't go that route. I was kind of hoping they'd give him a microphone and let the little kid say what he wanted about his old man. But unfortunately, that was not the case. No big deal, though. They gave him a TNT championship, and I think probably in the future when he's an adult, they may give him a job doing something. I'm very certain of that. But anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below if you'd like on anything I had to discuss on this episode of Dynamite. And I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great night, and Happy New Year to all of you, because this is the last video I'm going to upload until next year. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.